Hello everyone and welcome back. One of the coaches at Unga Academy here. And today we're going to be talking about the strategies in our portfolio that have performed the best in the last period. As always, I invite you to please leave us a like and remember to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell to stay updated on the release of all our new videos. Thank you so much. Hi, we are the Unga Academy and we teach traders how to make money in the markets. Our founder, Andrea Unga, had been struggling with trading for years until he developed his automated trading method, which he used to become the only 4-time world trading champion. Subscribe to our channel for free tips and tricks. Alright, so let's start with the video. Today we're going to be talking about a market belonging to the energy futures sector, namely the RBOB gasoline. Now, gasoline is a derivative of crude oil, which as you know is the most important future in this category. In terms of volumes exchanged daily, the future is smaller than crude oil, but also than other energy futures, such as heating oil and natural gas. So it's a less popular market. But if you approach it in the correct way, using trend-following strategies, or even some bias approaches, you could definitely get some interesting results. Obviously, this market also presents some risks because it isn't very liquid, so the risk of slippage is higher on markets of this type, especially at night when this market is traded by very few investors. Last but not least, the big point value, namely the value of a single point on this market, is worth an impressive $42,000. The future is worth around $2.60, and today has a counter value of over $100,000, in addition to being characterized by a very high volatility. But let's start with the first strategy. It's a trend-following strategy, which, as I mentioned before, is a type of approach that works very well in this market. More in detail, the strategy will enter on the highest between the high of today and the high of yesterday, which means that it will take the higher value between these two. Vice versa, for the short side, we'll take the lower value between the low of yesterday and the low of today. We also added some other conditions, such as, for example, an indicator. In fact, we use the ADX indicator and set a condition that requires it to be below a certain threshold, because as we know, the ADX calculates the directionality of the trend. And so when it is low, there might be the possibility of seeing an increase in volatility and some potential breakouts in the following days. This is the equity line that the system has produced since the end of 2020 to date. You can see that we're more or less at the highs. The long curve is really very nice, while the short curve has suffered a bit in recent periods. However, we need to consider that the buy and hold has been strongly bullish. So I'd say that this strategy was able to perform pretty well. This is the overall equity curve. If we look at the annual results, we should be satisfied. The results are already net of commissions and slippage. So as you can see, in 2021, we produced a profit of $16,000. In 2022, also seems to be off to a good start with profits already over $3,000. Let's now move on to the next strategy, which, unlike the previous one, is intraday. So it'll close all the open trades at the latest at the end of the session, or at stop loss or profit target, of course. This strategy will simply buy at the break of the previous day's high and go short at the break of the previous day's low. A number of additional conditions have also been included here. As in the previous strategy, we use the ADX indicator. So we see that indeed this indicator is continuing to give good signals on this market, but also on other markets. So why don't you give it a try too? Let's look at the results of the strategy. It definitely did a little worse than the previous strategy. However, in 2021, it earned over $9,000. Since this is an intraday strategy, it obviously makes less profit than a strategy of the same type, but which keeps its positions open for several days. However, even in this case, 2022 seems to have started on the right foot. This is the equity line of the strategy. As you can see, there are periods of low volatility or strong directionality where the strategy just doesn't place any trades. And this is due to the filtering of trades by the ADX and also by another filter that is based on the range calculated on the last day, so on yesterday, which doesn't want extreme volatility. Well, the video has come to an end, and today you've seen two potentially very good ideas to trade the RBOB gasoline. A smaller future, but certainly, if used in the right way, one that could give good results. Below the video, you'll find a link where you can access a free presentation by Andrea Unga. You'll also be able to buy a copy of our best-selling book, The Unga Method, paying only the shipping costs. And if you want, you can also book a free call with a member of our team for strategic advice. Finally, please remember to subscribe to our channel to stay updated on the release of all our new videos. And with that, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.